Hello. Everybody say hi.
Hi.
Hi,
Everybody say hi.
Hi, everybody.
That's not everybody. Nathan, you have to say hi.
I did.
Oh, you
I
did?
did say hi.
Oh, you did? I didn't hear it. Whatever. It was nice and quiet. It's fine. Hello, everyone. So we're playing Into Space tonight. We have lots of announcements. We'll get to all of that stuff. You may have noticed our sexy, sexy intro. Thanks to Couchfire Media. Everybody say thank you, Couchfire Media.
Thank you,
Thank you, Couchfire Media.
I wonder how much this is going to work. How much I can actually direct people to do stuff. Right, so we're the Dreadies and we're playing the DreadLore system. This campaign is into space. Into space. Into space. Into. It has echoes when everyone else does it. Into space. It is a dystopian spacey adventure. It is our alternate campaign to the Red Writ, which will probably be on next week, but this week is Into Space. So, some stuff. We're going to say media production is by Couchfire Media. You should check them out. Music is by all lowercase letters and Mr. Interrupt. A special thanks to the Patreon peoples, Tim Roberts and Daniel Holker. If you want to check out the Patreon, guess where it is? It's in the links. That's where it is. We're playing DreadLore, as I said. If you would like to pick up a book and all that goodness, go to the website, dreadlore.com. That is LORE, dreadlore.com. Or our link tree, and all of those things are in the description.
Also featured in an award-winning film.
Indeed. Oh, we're getting there. For announcements. Yeah, so the schedule is we play on Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard, and our podcast goes out throughout the week, usually Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. After this game, some of us will be staying on for a thing called After Hours, where we will talk about the game as well as gaming stuff and geeky shit, and you can ask us questions. If you're in the chat on Twitch, which is where we stream, please say hello. It helps our algorithm out, and also it helps us, know we have an audience. Like, subscribe, and follow us. Share this stream with everyone you know, and you'll be a better person after that. Holker, who's sponsoring us tonight?
Tonight's sponsor is the gentle cascade of water over a raised surface when flowing from a stream or a river. Some call this a waterfall. Waterfalls can be mundane and barely visible to massive flows or deafening descents of water over majestic terrain. Artificial waterfalls can even serve a utilitarian purpose to generate power as part of a dam. Despite this, it is not advisable to chase waterfalls. Instead, it is prudent to stick to the rivers and lakes that you are used to. If you still desire to have it your way or nothing at all, please be aware that you are in all likelihood moving too fast.
Thank you, Holker. Yeah, that's our sponsor for tonight. Let's do an introduction of our play yours. So what we do here is you say your name that you want the entire world to know. Then your player character name. Give a very brief, and I mean like one sentence, bio of your gaming experience. So really, really brief. We're talking like this entire thing shouldn't take more than 20 seconds. So your name, a little bit about who you are, and then your character. We'll say, what is your character thinking or doing right now that you know of? We'll start with Mr. Daniel Holker.
My name is Daniel, and my character's name is Private Burgess. Private Burgess likes to kick ass and throw boxes, and he's not out of boxes.
Ken.
My character's name is Dolby Newman, not to be confused with the Newman O's from today's ilk. He did not invent a cookie. I can't say cookie. He is a first lieutenant, and he's mad. He's really mad right now. And my name is Ken Howe. At least on this.
We'll go to Dr. Driz.
I am the Drizzle. Not Simon Vincent. I've started already. Skipp Trace is who I play in this game. He's just a grunt who follows all the rules, and this is the only group that I've really seriously played D&D with.
Thankfully, you're not playing D&D now.
Well, role-playing games. This is the only one I've stuck with.
That's right, because it's the best. And we got a guest star tonight, although they have played with us prior. Would you like to introduce thine self?
Oh, absolutely. So my name is Nate, also Jazzy Cabbage. I'm also playing a character named Cherokee Sue, like the people, not the Johnny Cash song. My experience tabletopping is pretty much all dreadlore based, except I watch a lot of other shows that I'm not going to mention because they're not as good as this one.
Yes, and this is a bit of an introduction to your character, although in a previous Into Space game where all of these characters came from, you had your character. But something's changed about your character, which everyone's going to find out.
Yes.
Some stuff.
So what am I thinking right now?
What's your character's name?
My character, Cherokee Sue. I thought I may have missed that.
You did.
Okay, cool. What is my character thinking right now? I need to keep Dolby on the right track and not be discovered.
That's right. Right, so that's what we got for the players. Yes. We're going to do a session recap in about 10 seconds once this ad break ends. Did I write a recap, Ken?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I thought I did.
You gave me a very good one on the fly earlier, so I wouldn't be super stressed.
I didn't see it.
I could have sworn that I did, but you know what? I think I just didn't do it.
Oh, you did just for the last episode? Yeah. I mean, you had to have because the current episode is live.
Yeah. Isn't that weird? Like, I don't know where I put it though.
It's on the YouTube or the.
Oh, is it on the YouTube?
If you look at the podcast, whatever you said there. But
Yeah,
basically, I could give you a recap.
Yeah, why don't you do the recap?
Well, Dolby and Burgess were the heroes of the day. Dolby was angry and on a tear and found Burgess reprimanded Burgess for throwing a bunch of boxes. And then they all ran back to the ship when they heard a couple little tinks and the little space pod that they were in, or I guess a fifth of the space station was hold. Oh, I was kind of wondering why it was hard to talk because I got an echo that is driving me nuts. All right, I'm back. You didn't hear it, but I heard it. So to avoid instant space death, Burgess and Dolby ran back to the ship, and Dolby was very perplexed on whether or not they should go after and save any survivors. Made some enemies, made some friends, gave everybody lots of hugs at the end of it was a touching episode, really. I think I just no, that's not true. But they did. We did wind up saving a person who seemed important. They were an assistant to their name is, because they're not dead. One person died, and I think their name started with a D, and I couldn't tell you what that was. But it doesn't matter. They're dead.
Dustone.
But anyway, we saved an assistant to Magistrate Eva Cyrus. Her name was Sergeant. No, it wasn't Sergeant Dustone, was it? Dustone.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, we saved them, but they had a friend with them that died because we didn't have any medics.
Yeah, it was Corporal Dunn.
Done. Well, they were done, and then Lieutenant.
Get it?
and Alfred now has the internet, which Dolby doesn't particularly like. And Hulker really saved the day. He saved some lives and did the right thing. Good job. I'm not Hulker, but Burgess. That was like, I didn't have it written down. I was not expecting to say any of this stuff, so I'm glad. I have very circular logic on this. Just imagine working with me in real life.
All right. So essentially, the game up to this point, Nathan, you don't. Would you like to be called Jazzy Cabbage or Nathan?
I think their name is actually Sue. Private Sue.
Yeah, but I mean
Private
the player.
Sue.
Okay, Private Sue.
That's tough because I stream on Kick as well, so like I could definitely do some cross advertising and things of that nature.
All right, I'm just gonna call you Jazzy Cabbage.
There you go.
All right, or just Jazzy. Yeah. So Jazzy Cabbage. You don't need to know all the bits and pieces about the first episode, but we've already gone over a little bit about where you are. We will introduce your character soon-ish. To add on to that summary a little bit, because Skipp was there, but Drizzle was not.
Yes.
Have you been updated, and/or do you know anything about what happened last game?
I watched it today while I was working.
Oh shit! Nice. All right. Well, can you add anything to the current summary then?
Quick rundown. The space station got shuttled. Dolby decided to go back and save people, but only to make the Navy guy happy, basically. And so Hulker jettisoned out into space. Brick went out after him after they found somebody, and there was a whole bunch of dead bodies, but only 2 spacesuits, but they had air, so why did they kill them before the spacesuits were even up necessity? Yeah, quick and dirty. And there's a cat now, for some reason.
Yeah, do you remember the cat's name?
Lucifer, which
Indeed.
I think should be spelled Lucy and then fur because it's a kid's cat.
That's absolutely what it is now. Lucifer. That's a good name for a cat.
Mhm.
It's an amazing name for a cat.
Yeah, it's a calico. It's essentially my calico cat that I no longer have. Okay. I posted some links in the descripciones. Right. Yeah, that's basically it. So the Inevitable, which is a former commercial capital ship, has exploded in what Ural's fire team has concluded or theorized is a sabotage attempt. It's not an attempt, a successful sabotage job. So this commercial ship, it's massive, thousands of people get exploded, and debris from it came down and apparently hit Neptune Station, which is where you all were at the time. Your all's fire team has been named the 4 Burning Sensations. You all hightail it to your freighter, your gunboat, I should say, which you named the Cool Mint. And a cat followed you, basically. So you're not sure if the station exploded or not. Turns out it didn't. But one of the 5 sections that make up the space station looks like a big donut, and it's made. Most space stations are made with interchangeable parts, and so they can be undocked and docked and this kind of stuff. The most damaged one apparently was detached from the main station. A whole bunch of people went with it, and you guys did, like you said, a rescue operation where Burgess and Aliss Brick, who is the newer addition to your group, exacted this rescue operation and found a Sergeant Dustone. Her name is Emilia Dustone for our notes. And you found out that Emilia Dustone, she's a Marine. Dolby essentially convinced her to join you all on your mission to Novus Prime, which is actually what your orders are to do. To get to Neptune, or to get to Neptune Station, get to the Cool Mint, and then find your Mark IV gravity drive and bust ass to the technically proximal colony of Novus Prime. And it'll take you about 4.5 some odd years of cryosleep to get there. So Dolby convinces Dustone to come with. But she has an assignment which is on Neptune Station. And technically her commanding officer is the commander of the station, a woman named Commander Douna Laura. You call her Douna Laura. Now, there is a magistrate. You found out that Sergeant Dustone has worked with quite a bit, and Dustone likes her a lot. The magistrate is an overseer of this sector of space. So what that means is it's kind of like a governorship over, because you think of like spaces, well, there's Neptune, but Neptune is always moving, right? So and in relation to the other planets and astral bodies, it kind of changes, right? So it's all complicated and shit. So the way that the SSA, the government, divided up our solar system is it's within regards to certain key places, one being the major planets, basically. And you typically have a magistrate for each of those major swaths of regions. The magistrate's name is Ava Cyrus. Well, in the first session, you all had a theory that Ava Cyrus actually got on your ship for some reason before you got there, sabotaged your cryo beds, and also your RI. Jazzy, so you know, an RI is a robotic intelligence. In a previous game, you actually ran into one. And in fact, in the previous game, your all's mission was to destroy the... Definitely, it does not exist true artificial intelligence that you found, which is a reason why all of that was disappeared. At any rate, an RI is definitely not at all an artificial intelligence. It is not autonomous. There's no way it actually has, real sentience. No way ever. So saith the SSA. Its name is ALFRET. And, apparently someone who your fire team thinks is potentially the magistrate got on your ship, sabotaged your RI, Alfred, and sabotaged your cryobeds. The sabotage was indirect. Your engineer, a guy named Engineerin, Dole Engineerin, surmised that the potential for a cryobed to just kind of turn off in mid-flight was there. So that's what the sabotage did. There's the potential that if somebody used that cryobed, they might have a mishap and die. And this rang very, the word's not true, conspicuous for your all's fire team, because on one of your previous missions, the gunnery sergeant who died, this exact thing happened. So there's this era of paranoia that occurs. Okay, so where we're going to start. You all have redocked with Neptune Station, or 4/5 of it. The cool mint is there. You're walking to the commander's, Commander Laura's main office with Sergeant Dustone. And the goal is for Dolby and whomever's with him to get Dustone's clearance to find out if the station needs any further assistance, maybe to find out some more information, and then to GTFO and actually get on with your mission. Your commanding officer, so the fire team's commanding officer is First Lieutenant Acting Dolby. The CO for Dolby is a Lieutenant Calabash, who is not here. She's the one who gave you all your mission. You have a lot of latitude on it. You know that going to Novus Prime it's going to take a long time. It's 4.5 some odd light years away. With this gravity drive, it will take you about that long to get there. You'll be in cryosleep, so you won't really age, but very slowly. And the time dilation effect, because of how you're doing it, will only be about 5 years. So getting there, getting back, about 10 years of real prime time will have passed, barring some misadventure. Regardless, it's going to be a while. You have some latitude of when you leave, but Dolby, you also know, as do the rest of you, there's a point where if you tarry for too long, people will start wondering why you're tarrying for too long. Obviously, at this point, there's mitigating circumstances, but it is potentially in the back of your minds. Okay, the people that went with, say Brick, yeah. So Aliss Brick is, just to re-update you guys, she actually was a dissident. She was a part of a dissident group on Lunia that you guys went and took care of. She didn't die in that. She was actually rescued and re-educated, and this is kind of her last chance. She's been assigned to the shit squad, aka Dolby's squad. And yeah, if she fucks up, then it's really going to be bad for her. So she's an Irish lass from Lunia. She's a moon child, and up until now, she's proved to be very competent and listens to Dolby's every fucking order. McBride, Brick, Skipp, and the 2 NPCs, that's Dole Engineering and the pilot, Josh, with a C, are all on the cool mint. Burgess, Dolby, and Dustone are on their way to, they're on the station on their way to Commander Laura's. Keeping all these names in my head. Whew, I'm doing all right thus far. Jazzy, your person, Cherokee Sue, real quick, just to know, is there a gender associated? It's the future. You could be anything you want.
Just because of anonymity. Nobody knows.
Okay, so you're androgynous.
Yeah.
Likely, people will use any pronoun then. They'll use he, she, they, etc., etc. At this time in the future, despite it being dystopian and awful, it's not a thing. These things, like race and gender, these are things of the past. People care more about, are you rich? That's the bigotry that happens. Okay, so that's good to know. You're technically androgynous. Okay, cool. We will introduce your character soonish. What is happening on the ship, the Cool Mint? So the action's on you, Mr. Private Skipp Trace.
Well, I guess I'd be finishing polishing my shoes. But
Your shoes are so polished right now.
now, I'd probably be in the like in the barracks, kind of working out a little bit. Not so much like lifting weights or anything, so much as like shadow boxing and that sort of stuff. Just getting ready for go time.
Now that you guys are connected to the station and you have spin gravity, so while your suits and your seats have magnetic grip, you don't have to use it. You have about 3/4 primes gravity right now. So it's yeah.
If Alice is with us,
Alice is
yeah.
with you, yes.
Yeah, I would probably be, and if she would, I would be sparring with her.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So this is the montage. There's no need for bidding and all this kind of thing. You'll have asked her, and yeah, she's more than obliged. She'll have the pads on. You know, they're all futuristic, spacey looking pads. Maybe black and silver or something. SSA really doesn't have any colors. I don't really know what the SSA colors are. We can decide what those are at some point. And she's got the headgear on, and she's doing the boxing thing with you. You'll note that Alice is, she's very athletic. It looks like, you know, she took her training rather serious, even for a moon child. Normally, people from moons and that stuff for lower gravity, they're very dexterous and graceful, but they don't have the bone mass and such. It looks like she's taken, you know, not precautions, measures to kind of build herself up and stay fit. Dole will be at the cryobeds. There is essentially there's the engineering part of the ship, which is the back of the ship. In the center part, that's where the cryobeds and such are, and there's more systems that can be not attached, accessed. He's sitting there. Burgess, Drizzle, your name is Skipp Trace. Skipp,
Yes.
You'll have noticed that Dole is just sweating profusely. He's actually taken off his if you've seen Battlestar Galactica, how the officers, they got their jumpsuits and they'll actually unzip them halfway and take the top down, so it just sort of hangs. Yep. He's like that. It's his uniform is completely sweat through. His long pianist-like fingers are, you know, going over the hologram interfaces and such, and he seems to be very concerned about checking everything out. And you'll know that that's because he had a conversation with Dolby. I don't know if you overheard the ins and outs. That's up to you whether you did.
I would say I think, from remembering correctly, I was in the room when it happened, because I think it was in the mess hall. So I would have overheard it. But having been in this situation, I'm gonna sit there and make sure I'm not gonna sit there, but I'm not gonna be like, hey, don't worry about it, because I need him to worry about it.
Yeah, so you know, and since you watched the episode, you actually know what the problem is. Or at least part of the problem. Awesome. Okay, that's what's happening. Josh, the pilot, is in the cockpit. He's probably doing astrogations. And ALFRET has been oddly quiet since you docked. Action still on you. Are you doing anything particular? Talking to Alice, etc., etc.?
Okay. As I'm like, I've noticed that you're kind of eyeballing Dunstan.
She takes, it's the fast hands thing. I'm not actually a boxer. It's the thing where, she's doing like you duck, and you hit her hands.
Yeah.
Training partner. She takes a few steps and, gives you a bit of a workout. As she sitting there sweating, she says, "All right. I'm not really supposed to talk about it. Dolby, what can I say? He mentioned that we shouldn't dwell on these things right now. But as you hit, the gloves a few times, but I couldn't say that I like her.
Well, in all fairness, Burgess was eyeballing you the same way when you first came on.
Yeah, fair enough." As she takes a couple swings at your head, you duck deftly.
We make do with what we have, but as long as we all make it out alive, that's all that matters.
She nods. There's a moment of hesitation as you say that. You realize potentially that you just kind of spoke her language. She was a dissident, and maybe, Skipp, you never really got the full story. There's probably was she really a dissident? This is dangerous talk. You don't really, delve into that too much, maybe. Or maybe you do. But she hasn't really talked about it. My point, you realize that she has a heart. And when you talk about survivors, that actually impacts her. Maybe there's a little bit of a smile that crosses her face. I just don't understand why two suits? Why would they need two suits? And she just, has trouble shutting up as she continues training with you.
That doesn't make sense to me either, but I was not there. For some reason, Dolby pulled me back on that one.
I'm the lieutenant, I wasn't sure about him, but I think there's something there. She kind of nods.
He'll try to get our back as best he can.
We do a smash cut to Dolby and the rest of you walking in the station. Dolby, I'm assuming you're taking a pull from a flask. There's something there. Glug, 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 glug. As you come back, wipe your mouth, and you're walking down. The space station is abuzz. There's loads more people in it now. These people are jogging to and fro. They have medicine, medical equipment, engineering. Crews are going that and way the opposite direction for obvious reasons. So ships have ferried in. They're not really docked so much as they were, but they're ferrying in from shuttle to get the station back up and running. Outside the windows, outside the portholes, you can see there's cleanup crews in lower orbit of Neptune trying to push away the shrapnel that's tidal locked. Because if you don't do that every so often, the station's going to get hit. Yeah. So that's the situation. The action's on you guys. What's up?
I'm walking with Burgess.
Yep, and Dustone.
And Dustone. And we're just walking down the corridor.
Yep.
Dustone.
Yeah.
So you've been, how long have you been on the station? I forget.
Oh, let me see. I think technically 2 months I've been here. That was after my, the freeze I went through, when I went out, that once to Alpha Centauri. So yeah, about 2 some odd months. Every
You're
so
ju-
often, go on. She stops as you
You're
start
fresh
talking.
back. Like you've only
Yeah.
been back from your first mission for a short period of time.
Well, my first mission out.
Right. So just you've been I mean, when did you work with the magistrate? I mean, that's a big position. You must have some pull to have worked with the magistrate.
As you guys are moving, she's in her red fatigues, her Marine Corps fatigues. And she kind of turns. Well, I mean, I don't want to brag, Lieutenant, but I'm pretty good at my job. I made sergeant fairly quickly out of boot camp. Mostly did operations near Mars and such. As you see on her uniform, the various merits she has, and several of them are core merits. So as in like within Jupiter, within the asteroid belt. Some MRO things, so she's done joint operations with the Martians. And maybe the red suit that she has, or the red fatigues, are an emblem of that. Like red and black.
Mhm.
Yeah, the magistrate, she's something. She's a force to be reckoned with.
Sure.
And she kind of smiles. I guess she saw me, took a liking, and really gave me a lot of opportunities that I wouldn't otherwise have had. I actually met her right before my first mission out, my only mission out to Centauri, and likely she got it for me. When I got back, I was stationed here at Neptune Station, and when the magistrate came in, she just had me working with her quite a bit. I've been very lucky in that.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. I mean, they don't just hand this stuff out to anybody.
She smiles. At the same time, like you said, I haven't been out enough. I really want to see. I want to do something, and I just really appreciate you letting me come on this, assuming Commander Laura allows it.
Yeah, well, we'll talk to her and see what happens. It's an exciting mission, and I definitely think, from what little I've been heard about you and what I can see standing right in front of me, that you're a good soldier, and we would be in a good place if you were along.
She smiles.
Are we heading towards her immediate boss, I presume?
Yeah, her commanding officer is the commander of the station.
Yeah, Douna, Laura.
Yeah, which, since it's the montage, and I mean you're a career guy, it's a little weird. I mean, the station commander. This is a military station, joint military and commercial, so it's going to have a magistrate and a commander, with the commander being the person who's actually in charge of the station itself. It's a little weird for a sergeant to report directly to the commander. Usually there would be a different officer. But as Dustone has said in the previous game, when she got back, this magistrate kind of took her on as a personal assistant / guard, if you will. And so she wasn't really given an assignment, a normal assignment. It's almost like her assignment has been to be whatever the magistrate needs. So her official commander is Douna Laura. Her boss would be the magistrate.
Sure. What kind of stuff, if you don't mind me asking, what did you do with the magistrate? I've only been surrounded by fighter. I've only fought my way through stuff, so I want to know more about what the fancy life is like. That really sounds like something.
As she considers that for a moment, Burgess, what might you be doing? As you're walking along, do you have anything to add to this? And are you muted?
No, I'm not. No.
Hmm.
Burgess is not muted. Burgess is thinking about what he saw back there when he opened the
Indeed.
door, looked in, saw what was left. The chaos, spectacle, and two people seemingly above it all who just walked right out.
Well, one was unconscious and dying.
Consolation prize.
Right. Do you say anything at this point?
No, at this point, no. And given what happened last time, for now, not saying much.
What happened to Dunn?
Done?
No, I asked that to I asked that to the sergeant.
As the sergeant is considering your first question, she's about to answer what she's been doing with the magistrate. As
Oh
you,
yeah, let her answer that. I'd wait
Okay.
until.
I have things in the game master queue. It's like it has to sit there in slip space until I can get to it. She's considering. Well, so with the magistrate, we went to several space stations, on the rim. Neptune Station 4, of course. She motions to where you are. This is NS4. I've been to all of them. Technically, been on 1 and 2, just outside of 3. We went into Saturn Station. There's a few lifeboats. She does a lot of rounds. There's a lot of territory. Mostly, I was just with her. I guess you could say I was a bit of an attaché.
You're overpowered babysitter is what you're telling me.
She laughs. Well, you mean, she kind of gets quiet and leans in as you guys are walking. The P&B, these Navy brats, they get a little touchy when they're dealing with non-military. So I guess I was a bit of a go-between. Sometimes they don't like to adhere to what an SSA official actually wants. But, we keep them in line. And it's good to have, she knocks on her head, a jarhead with you because we know how to survive.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. I'm impressed. I don't really want to know what you went through, but you're here now, and that says a lot in my book.
She nods.
It's a shame about Dunn. Were you guys friends? Do you know each other?
We didn't know each other very well. She says quickly. Dunn was a good soldier, but she... What can I say? She should have acted quicker.
Yeah.
And she just kind of looks over at you and then continues walking forward.
Oh, if she did, she'd be here, wouldn't she?
She doesn't say anything. She just kind of nods. Of course, you're on a donut space station, so you're always walking at an angle or at a round. She points up ahead. Just up there is Commander Laura's quarters or office. We should be able to get in. She's probably pretty busy.
Sure.
But I think I have enough pull.
Sounds good.
Then she kind of stops and looks at you. I mean, I don't know what your orders are. As you see her kind of like stammer, realizing she may have just kind of gone over your head a little bit by accident.
My orders are to get off this station and do this mission. I got a couple of good soldiers. I feel like we don't have enough, and if she can let you go, that'll be good enough for me. So yeah, let's go visit. Let's go visit.
Back in the cool mint, the gunboat. You guys have finished up your workout and such. Alice is sitting down on a bench, taking off the pads, and we'll say that Dole Engineering walks in. He does the walk-in where he's kind of hunched. He looks like a soldier, but he's no Marine. Obviously, like something waiting on his mind. You can tell Skipp as he walks by, kind of waves a little bit, shielding his eyes. He doesn't really make eye contact, and he walks over to where the mess is, and he's making like some smoothie type thing. Alice just kind of watches him, maybe shares a look with you of rolling her eyes. Action's on you, sir.
Those cryo beds, are they ship-shape?
He nods. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, they should be good to go. They are good to go. They're good. I've checked them all over. I don't understand why someone would, as he just shakes his head and you hear wee of his smoothie thing, because there's a ninja there and he's food processing.
There are all kinds of reasons that don't make sense, but people do odd things these days.
I'm just worried. Do you know? He turns, drinking the whatever the shake is. He's got the mustache. Do you know what our mission is? I mean, I understand if it's got set clearance and everything. I don't really care, but how long are we supposed to be in those beds? As he takes a big, long drink of protein shake stuff.
I don't know the exact time. I do know that it's at least maybe a handful of years.
Handful? You mean like 2, 3?
I would say a little more than that.
He nods. You can tell he's not looking forward to it at all.
I don't think it's gonna be over 6 or 7.
6 is... It's a long time.
You get used to it.
How many times you been in? Alice actually perks up, sitting next to you. Are you standing or are you sitting?
I'd be sitting.
So you'd be
probably
sitting.
Got a big thing of water sitting there, rehydrating and stuff.
She'll look over. She's obviously interested in your answer too.
To be honest, I can't tell you how many times. I can tell you that if we were to count it, I'd be way older than I look.
Alice laughs. How old do you think I am? As she smiles, she looks like she's maybe mid-20s. And she's a moon child too, so there's less gravity there.
Yeah. I was taught a long time ago never to try and guess a woman's age.
Why is that? She kind of hits you in the side of the arm.
That reason right there.
Going back to the commander's office. As you guys approach, outside there are a couple Marines on either side of the door. The door is it's magnetically sealed. It opens with a hiss and closes. Aides and such are moving back and forth, so you can see inside. Kind of looks like imagine an Oval Office E type, or if you look at Deep Space Nine, Cisco's office. It's basically what it looks like. There's a big bay window, large flat desk. There'll be a rug on the ground that can make it kind of look a little more homely or homey. But otherwise, it's very difficult to disguise the sleek gray metal, which is the station. There's several people in here. You notice sitting at the desk, and it's one of those huge, communist desks, right? Where if you sit across from it, it feels like a football field between you and the other person. Papers. When I say paper, it's the thin. We need a word for it. It's not the plastic sheets. The future paper. Little holograms playing on them and such. Little data pads, basically. Anyway, there's a woman maybe in her 40s, looks like, with some graying hair, and in a commander uniform, talking to several different people, and they're basically in line. The room is abuzz. As the doors close in front of you, you're not in the room. Actions on you.
I'm going to. You can, Sergeant. Would you do me the honors and introduce me? I don't like to toot my own horn, so this sergeant is clearly busy. So why don't I just stand next to you as you make the request? I just, if she says no, she says no. But I don't really have a lot to say to her, but I just want to be in the room for that.
Dustone nods. See what I can do. As she walks up, the two Marines, you can see that they're both corporals. As one of them comes over to her, and they have not a quiet conversation, but it's a personal conversation. If you're standing right there, you can hear it. Otherwise, you don't really know what they say.
Mm-hmm.
Do you?
Yeah, I'll I'd like to bid.
We go into the dread. Dun, 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 dun.
I know. I would like to bid indoctrinated to look at this lieutenant colonel. And
which lieutenant colonel?
The Douna Laura. Her.
Oh, so she's a commander.
Oh, commander. Okay.
Yes, because she's a prime naval brigade.
Oh, okay. Commander Laura. And I just want to see if I believe her as a commander. If I feel she's real, and I want to see as they're interacting with each other, if it's a normal interaction or if I take
if there's something up.
If there's something up.
So at this point, Dustone is actually talking to the corporal outside of the office.
Okay.
But you did get you caught a glimpse of Commander Laura.
Mm-hmm.
Just from your bid, she looks serious. She looks she looks like a commander of a space station. And like she's getting the job done, especially in light of what's happened. And this is just a glance you got. There's obviously some stress. Maybe her jaw was a little clenched, but she's giving orders and making things happen.
But does she look genuinely like this is all a surprise? She's frightened.
You didn't see her that long. You didn't see her that long. It was just the doors opening and closing, and you happened to see her.
Sure.
As Dustone will be talking to this corporal, and you don't really hear what they say, but she says something, and the corporal kind of nods. He looks over at you two, and hits the button. The door opens and waves you all in.
Okay.
As you move in, both of these corporals salute you, Dolby.
I think it's normal to salute them back.
Yeah, that's right. You do the salute. Yeah, Jazzy Cabbage, so you know, the salute looks like this. You
I
should
will,
all.
I will salute them as well.
You just disappeared.
Yeah.
Everybody has to salute. Everybody has to practice your your salute.
I do it in kind of a threatening way that I almost like get the guy in the face because I think that that is kind of normal. And,
Show me the salute one more time, because
Yeah, you got to do it. Your video is up. That yeah, it's this.
What?
Honestly, that's so good. I feel like if you round a corner, you unintentionally like touch somebody.
Oh yeah,
Like, oh.
yeah. Well, it's all of these fascist salutes. When you really think about them, they're so silly. And so we were like, what's a salute we can do and not be Nazis, but it still looks like a salute. And so it's this forceful, like, shove it. Anyway.
Okay,
Yeah, you do the shove
I'm
it.
gonna go back into Cryosleep.
Into Cryosleep, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are in the Dread. You moveth forth into this office. As you do, Commander Douna Laura happens to look up. She's in a conversation with a couple aides. A few people look over at you and just noticing 3 Marines just walked in. And yeah, we'll say that it's Burgess, the lieutenant, and then in front of you is Sergeant Dustone. The actions on you all, are you going to do anything? You're just waiting for Dustone to talk.
I would like, and you can explain this. You don't have to have a conversation between the two of you. I just want to wait for her to give the introduction to the commander. And once the introduction is made, I would like to use that bit of indoctrinated to understand where they are, because I have some privileged information that I may or may not share with them.
So I won't. I'm gonna refrain from playing with myself, and doing multiple NPCs. The long and the short of it is, it's a few minutes as you guys are standing there waiting. How are you guys waiting? Are you looking around the room? Do you sit on the floor? Like,
Well, I'm standing at attention.
Yeah,
Yep,
I'm
staying
looking at this commander seriously.
with your bid still active, and Burgess, are you going to bid anything, or are you just standing there? Are you bidding to? Basically, if you bid to stand at attention, it's going to have an effect on the fiction. Otherwise, you're just doing it. If
I'm
you
just
bid,
doing
then you're affecting it. If you don't bid, then you are doing it. Someone will notice, but it doesn't necessarily have an effect.
I'm just doing it.
Okay. Dolby, as your bid is still active, you note that the commander, she comes off like a naval commander. She's rather serious, and it turns out you've heard of her. She is the commander of Neptune Station 4, in fact, which is this station. She's been here for several years, and this is an important station. It's one of the major stepping off points out of Sol System, and it's military/joint military commercial. So a lot comes through here, which it might dawn on you, that's probably why the magistrate was here, or has been here so much, perhaps. You don't get anything clandestine. That's maybe the wrong word. There's nothing nefarious coming off of this woman. She seems pleasant, and rather serious for a naval commander. I mean, not to diss the Navy or anything, as in the PNB, but you guys are, you're the PMC, you're the Marine Corps.
Sure.
I'm just navel gazing.
That's right. Jesus Christ.
Sure.
She seems, just from your experience and brass, she seems competent. In fact, she seems competent in the way that potentially is a problem for you or has been in the past.
Okay.
As in, like, she's fairly no nonsense. And
Right.
you've definitely dealt with people, commanders, that, you know, they will not suffer your antics. The
Definitely.
immediate thing you get off her is she's serious. She's
Right.
pleasant, but if you're fucking around, she will reprimand you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
She doesn't seem crooked. She doesn't seem egotistical, haughty. I mean, a little bit. She's a commander. But, yeah, she seems competent. As
Cool.
her attention turns to the sergeant essentially introduces you and takes the liberty, the sergeant does, of saying, she introduces both of you, I should say, and takes the liberty of saying that she's requesting to go with you on a mission.
Mhm.
The commander has a curious look on her face when the sergeant tells her this, which is hard to read. You don't know her. And she turns to you, and she sits down in her chair. At ease, soldier, she says to Burgess. Have a seat, Lieutenant.
And
Well, you
obviously
caught us.
Spluter, is that
You do.
that-
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. You do. And she does the commander salute. She's like,
Yeah.
yeah. You've caught us at an interesting in an interesting situation, somewhat embarrassing. What is this about? Needing one of my NCOs?
she's a survivor. I've been put on a mission. I need some experts. I need people who can survive and hold their own in a difficult situation. And the sergeant is clearly, against all odds, survived a pretty harrowing event. And soldiers like this don't come along every day. So, I just wanted to note that it was impressive to me. The only person on a large part of this space station that got detached because of an unfortunate accident, I presume, and I need people like that around me.
Just a little bit of a description. This woman, she's obviously female. She's mature. She's showing signs of experience. Appears to be in her 40s or 50s. Just by the look of her, what is your guys' origins? What are your origins?
I'm from Gamma Meat. I am
Okay, you're a station
definitely.
kid.
I'm an Earthling.
No, it's like a moon child.
Oh, you're from Moon. Okay, so you're technically a duster, is what that's called. If you're
Yeah.
from like an actual terrestrial place, you're kind of somewhere in between, really, because Gamma Meat doesn't have an atmosphere.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're technically a station kid in that regard. And then you're a primer.
Yep.
We'll say Dolby. So, Burgess, you can tell that Douna Laura is not a primer, and she's likely not a duster. She doesn't have the build for it. Dolby, you can tell she's likely a station kid.
Mhm.
And from that, because she looks like she's in her 40s or 50s, she's probably really old.
Mhm.
When you have the low gravity, you don't age as much. And she's likely been in cryo several times. So there's maybe the thought she's potentially as old as you are.
Okay.
Maybe even older. As she's got gray eyes, steel gray eyes, chestnut hair with streaks of gray, and a very commanding presence. Her eyes don't narrow, they just sort of lock on yours and then on the sergeant. There's a pause as perhaps she's considering. You're right. Sergeant Dustone is a survivor and a damned good officer, even though she's Marine. She says there's a crack of a smile, knowing she's talking to 3 Marines. I don't know if we can spare her. Can you tell me about your mission?
What clearance do you have?
She arcs an eyebrow. Clear the room as everyone in the room leaves but you all. And you hear, the doors. There'll be a couple Marines in here still. They are, standing at the ready and that kind of stuff. Again,
Am I being ordered out?
No. They're privates. So there'll be 4 of them. My set clearance is likely quite a bit higher than yours, Lieutenant.
Absolutely.
So Sec 4.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I give her information about the mission as I took it. We are off to on a pretty short jaunt out in space, 4 or 5 years. Terra Nova. We have a little
Terra Nova.
Have you heard of Terra Nova?
She thinks about it. Terra Nova.
Or Novus Terra.
Oh.
Reading backwards.
Novus
Terra.
Prime. Yes.
Oh, well, Novus Prime. Anyway, it's got a beautiful oxygen atmosphere, really trippy colors. We just have to do a little bit of...
What do you bet?
Some Nord came out there.
That's true. That's true.
Get a doobie.
Yeah, no. That's right.
Do you smoke?
Yeah, right. Do you smoke? So it is an important mission that could and need of it's of strategic relevance to what we're doing here, and it should be we should be okay with the crew that we have, but this thing could get hot and we could be in real trouble fighting and camped.
She messes around with some of the data pads. When I say data pad, they're very, very thin. It's these I need another data sheets is what they'll be.
But this would be yeah, I just wanted to say this would be a real get for us and our power needs. If we can get the mine flowing again, we will be able to power this station and many others like it.
She nods. The desk lights up, think Iron Man style, with some holograms as she pushes some hollow papers out of the way and pulls up information on. You see your ship. It says the cool mint, and she taps around. She's listening to you, nodding, but she's not looking at you.
Mm-hmm.
You'll notice that Novus Prime is floating there as well, and some information about it through all the bits and pieces. And she's looking. It looks like you have command. You've been given command of the cool mint. I see you changed the name. Gunboat, and you have Second Lieutenant Josh Jerrigan and Corporal Engineering aboard. You'll be taking them as well, I'm assuming.
Yes. Yes, sir.
And you'll be on a stint of, it looks like you have a requisition for Gravity 4 pet tray drive as well. So she does some calculations, or the computer does. Looks like 4.5 years there and back, so a good 10-year stint. That's a pretty good freeze. Are you okay with that, Sergeant? Sergeant gives you a look, actually, and confidently nods. Lieutenant, I would be lying if I said I had not looked into your record a little bit. Granted, not much. Some things happened recently. She smiles, kind of a sour smile, obviously referencing what just happened. Is this of a clandestine nature? I know very little of Novus Prime. As far as I'm aware, it's a mining colony that hasn't been heard from for a long time. You say things are going to get hot. Where are you taking my soldiers?
Well, hopefully we won't be taking any. I see this as a negotiation.
What's the situation? You can tell she's fairly no nonsense and she's seeing through the bullshit. Remember, you can bid to affect the scene.
Sure. I'm gonna bid
And
believer.
Burgess, you can aid.
Okay. I'm gonna bid believer because I believe in what my missions are, and I believe in the Earth Association, or the what is it? The
SSA.
SSA.
The Soul System Authority.
Yeah, the Soul System Authority. I believe that this commander is legit, and I can say that we could, if we could make this happen, this is a real get for Soul System.
Well, but my question is she nods and you
I'm
bid
going to
believer.
aid.
Okay, how are you aiding? What are you bidding?
I'm going to bid. Can you bid gifts or just?
Yeah, you can bid any trade.
I'm going to bid set clearance
What is your set clearance?
2.
Set clearance of 2. What's up, K Fried? What's up? Oh, apparently we're 1 year. Hell yeah. Kentucky Fried Dice just subscribed for tier 1. Boom. 12-month streak. Hell yeah. We got a little echo going on. That's right. You get an echo because you just subscribed. Kentucky Fried, thank you so much for being on and subscribing. We're playing Into Space. Some point, when you get some time, by the way, you need a guest star on this. Just saying.
Yep.
As you bid your set clearance, when you do this, do you like show her a card or something? How do you show her that you have the set clearance? Do you say something like, what is it that you do?
I
Dum, dum,
I said
dum.
I said to Dolby say
Do, do,
Lieutenant,
do.
my set clearance is a bit higher than you may realize.
Copy that, soldier.
Douna Laura arcs further her eyebrow. Okay. I see that you're likely on, if not an official SOC mission, meaning Security Operations Corp. If it's not an official SOC mission, it's definitely associated. If you have, she looks at you, Dolby. If you have privates under your command with SEC clearance 2. Fine. I will not be standing in your way. Obviously, there's some sort of conspiracy, some sort of sabotage going on. It's been brought to my attention a couple different times. And I thought we were taking measures. This is going to be a problem. You see her looking out the window towards all the debris from the
I might have
the inevitable.
Information that is actually for your eyes only.
Well, I want to see that information, but let's go order of business first.
Yeah.
As she moves some bits and pieces of the hollow. Sergeant, your thumbprint, and you are his. As the sergeant puts your thumbprint, and you see the transfer of command. Douna Laura looks up at you, Lieutenant, and says, "You are now Sergeant Emilia Dustone's official commanding officer." She looks over at Dustone, and I don't think the magistrate will be too happy. She smiles. "Losing you." "Yes, ma'am," etc. Commander looks at you. "There is something else. I was wondering if you all would be paying me a visit. You have a package, Lieutenant. It's been here for 2 or 3 weeks at this point. Just do the calculation. You guys have been traveling for a few weeks. So, as in from when you got your mission, it was around about a month ago when you got your mission. It just took you that long to get to Neptune Station. So this package that has arrived, it would have arrived, it had been sent here shortly after you got your mission or right before you got your mission, which means it's somebody in the know.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
I believe.
Can you go ahead?
I believe you might be surprised at what it is. As she gets up, she walks over. The side door opens up, and she has one of the Marines help her. This little hover lift comes out, and you see a cryo bed. It's like got like postage stamps and stuff on it all over the place. It's been all over the solar system for like, 2 months. I think this one took the long way around. You want to unfreeze whoever this is here, or once you get back to your ship?
Might as well. I mean, they're in cryosleep now. Why unfreeze them? Why don't we just? I look over to the sergeant, and I'm like, "Pack your bags. We're leaving. We're ready to go. If you can be shipshape in the next hour, we're gonna take off. We'll just go into cryosleep and head that way. And get this.
The sergeant looks. She nods and she starts walking out. The commander looks down at the little hollow thing on the cryo bed. Ding, ding, ding. Looks like a Private Cherokee Sue. I believe.
Dolby holds his laughter.
I believe.
Enjoy.
This is a medic. I suggest you unfreeze Private Sue on the station just in case there's any complications. 2 months in cryosleep.
Copy that. We'll just take him to the med bay. I would like to give this information and these notes to the commander on a different matter.
She nods. Absolutely. Okay, so a little bit of out of game stuff. Where do you unfreeze Sue, on your ship or on the station?
If there is a place with doctors and stuff, I think we should unfreeze them there.
Okay. Do you have someone go and do that now, or do you wait?
Well, because I have the NPC sergeant along with me, and I've been told that it's better to unfreeze them now. I give her first order, which is and I ask,
dethaw this private.
Yeah, dethaw this private.
As she sounds good, sir. She looks at Burgess.
And I'll tell Burgess to go. You should go along.
Yes, Lieutenant.
As you all make your way, the sergeant knows where the med bay is. As Burgess, she looks over at you and unlocks the gravity repulsor and says, "Come on, Private, let's go." As she, being a sergeant, essentially tells you to push.
It's like a double salute.
Oh! We're going to move to Jazzy Cabbage at this point. As Burgess, you push Private Sue's cryo bed into the med bay. It's a large, station med bay. There's several beds all over the place. A number of injured, some in better condition than others, from obviously the explosion that happened. Bucklet Stone, what's up, man? From the fog. What's up, dude? Greetings and praise. Ha! We're playing our our dystopian space campaign. Are those Gumbies that you just you posted? Drizzle, are those Gumbies that I'm looking at?
That's not Gumby. Gumby's
Oh, it says
green.
blood trail. Awesome. Anyway, yep. As you get to the med bay and Jazzy Cabbage, when you're ready, pop back on the video and we're going to introduce you. There he is. Right.
Oh shit! Doesn't the cryo always give you the best buzz? Oh shit! Who the fuck are you? Pointing to the person I don't know besides Burgess.
You're looking at a sergeant. She is. Someone want to describe Dolby? How about you describe Sergeant Dustone?
Sergeant
Because
Dustone
it's a
is,
very cool picture you had for her.
Oh, Sergeant Dustone is a fit soldier that is ready to go, ready to fight. They have their gear together. They're no nonsense. They look like a clean and cut soldier that we will probably ruin.
Destroy.
She is a sergeant. She's in a red uniform. Immediately, you probably can't read all the bits and pieces because your eyes are unfocused, but you can tell she kind of looks like a Martian, just from the red and such, red and black. She looks down. She's smiling at you. Oh, Private, it'll be all right. It looks like you've been under for about 2 months or so. What's your name, soldier?
Cherokee Sue. Like
Excellent.
the people, not the song.
The people. She arcs an eyebrow. As you realize, she probably doesn't know who you're talking about because it's 400 years in the future, and yeah, you live in a totalitarian society.
And I just like blink. It's awkward. It's like real awkward.
As she nods, looking up at Burgess, do you know the soldier?
Nope.
She looks back at Cherokee.
Burgess? My guy? You're just gonna leave me hanging here?
What?
Burgess, you have a few flaws from your stint in Cryosleep. Last game we gave you a couple derangements, saying that essentially, and Ken and I discussed this. Basically, you're a fairly new soldier, Burgess. The thing is, you went on the big stint with everyone, so you actually do know Cherokee Sue. Although Cherokee Sue is a different name. The difference is, on the stint back, the 10 years of cryosleep that you guys endured on the way back, not to mention the 10 years going to where you went, your cryo bed woke you up a few times. So you were being intravenously fed, you had your catheter in and everything, you couldn't move, but you were awake. And like it would happen like a week or two at a time, and it happened, who knows how many times. So you would wake up and be like, oh God, not again. So we decided that that's the reason that Burgess is maybe a little off. We call it cryo fucked. Yeah. And we'll have a flaw, Burgess, which you should already have. It's whatever the sign is of having been cryo fucked at least once. I'm gonna bid that.
Am
for
I
you.
aware that he's cryo fucked at this point?
I am bidding his flaw that he has been cryo fucked, and so, Cherokee, you look at him and you see maybe his eye twitch or something, and you're like, oh, something went down. You had a stroke, or whatever.
Okay, smooth brain, Burgess. We all know each other. Can we go see Dobby?
I guess there's nothing wrong with that.
The sergeant kind of chuckles.
Guess there's nothing wrong with that, Private.
I guess. Wait, did I get demoted?
The sergeant kind of winces. She just nods. Well, this says you're a private. What were you before?
What did you do, Burgess?
What did I do? I guess you just get demoted when you doze off for 10 years.
You got to get me to Dolby. I don't know what's going on at all.
Maybe you just sleep through like exam day or roll call too many times, and I guess they have roll call and Cryosleep, and if you know how the regs are, if you miss 4 of them, you get demoted.
Who rolled you down the stairs, Burgess? I remember a different person.
Yeah, well, I remember a person. So let's go talk to Lieutenant Dolby.
Just a person.
Cherokee, you slowly sit up. It's like that scene in The Matrix, when Neo comes out of it. You notice that there's about 10 people all standing around you all, and all of you have the same expression staring at Burgess. As the sergeant kind of looks at him and says, right. Well, we need to get you cleaned up. And
Private Sue, just out of curiosity. Is there any boxes in there?
Well, considering I was in a box, from what I understand, for quite a while, you can have the box that I was in.
Oh.
Help me with this.
I've heard that there's another version of this called a casket on Prime.
Close enough.
I assume that you'll be really into those.
The sergeant looks at you, Burgess, and says, shut up. Help me with him. And she gets one of his arms to lift him out.
Yes, ma'am. And I left.
As you get Cherokee Sue cleaned up. Doctor, a few come over and they check your vitals, and they give you several shots of fluid and all sorts of things. And despite it hurting, these hypo sprays, you're military, so you just get like every updated vaccination you could possibly think of.
Oh yeah, we get
and
stuck
some of
with
them
what
that you
feels
can't
like
think
frozen
of.
peanut butter.
So you actually know.
Yeah. No, I'm aware.
They stab you in a lot of different places, but you actually kind of feel better afterwards. You're handed your things, and the sergeant says, all right, I don't actually know. Come with me. We're going to our ship. It's called the Cool Mint, apparently. And we'll get you up to speed. We're about to head back out. She is leading.
That, right?
She turns. What?
It's because we're all refreshing.
Oh, it's going to be a long ride. As you're going, yeah, you get a pip for it. Okay. As Burgess is helping you down the hallway, you're like in like a medical gown, holding your duffel and all that stuff, and like your rifle slung over your shoulder. Your ass is hanging out, and you're making your way. She says, "So I suppose I guess I should break it to you. We're about to go back in." And you cryo. Should be
do anything else in between?
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah. You're walking. Yeah, you're walking towards the ship as she says this. The action's on you two, Burgess and Sue. It is the Dread. You can bid and do whatever you want.
Burgess, when was the last time you had a beer?
Huh?
When was the last time you had a beer, Burgess?
Probably 10 years ago.
All right. I will absolutely not remember your name. Can we go get a beer?
Yeah, sure.
The sergeant turns. You can see she's pretty straight-laced. What do you bid to convince her of this?
Oh no, I have to look at the sheet.
Bid trades, yes.
I bid the trades, yes.
And a trade. No aspects and no proficiencies.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And
in
we have
this
slots for
lull.
more traits.
It's in this lull
Um,
that I want to encourage people to like and subscribe and share our stream. That would
You
help
get a
us out.
narrative
do it
point.
right now.
Yeah, for lulls of
Uh,
3 to 5 seconds, if one of you reminds the peoples to like, subscribe, follow, then you'll
Like.
get a narrative point.
And you can patronize us as well.
And then
Patronize me.
so you have to do it every 3, but it's just to get into the habit. You can also mention that on our Linktree or the DreadLore official website, you can grab a DreadLore core book as well. Anyway,
Get the book.
Tingle tangle. So I am going to bid elite because I have dealt with people in
nice.
power before, so I have no issue just kind of talking the talk.
Yep. The sergeant, when you bid at lead, you can tell she's very straight-laced, but she's also a good NCO. She knows, she's not an officer. She knows what works. As she looks at Burgess, after considering you, Sue, for a moment, get the private some pants and go get a beer. But she looks back at you, Cherokee. Don't be late. We'll be shoving off within an hour. And she turns and
call
goes,
me Private Sergeant.
Private Sergeant?
I'm talking to her. I feel some remorse for my lost title.
You would like to be called Private? Or Private Sergeant?
No. I don't know. I just don't like this situation. We were peers when I went to sleep.
I understand. I've been bumped down a couple times. As she turns and you'll get back up there. And she starts walking away. She's given you guys orders to get pants and a beer.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Burgess.
All right. So that is what you
Oh,
two do. Yep.
I just turn around to Burgess and I'm like, I know that you're having a hard time right now. And I grab his face very gingerly, but I'm like, you're gonna have to update me on what has changed since I've been in sleep, okay? What
That's
the fuck
perfect.
is that you just did with your hand? And then I
That's
just
a
let him
salute.
go.
That's a salute.
Or what?
That's this is our salute.
Am I doing it?
Huh?
Am I
Yeah.
Am I doing it?
Stop doing it.
I mean, you are a private. That's probably good enough.
I like it. Government work, things like
So
that.
the
Yeah.
scene is it's a wide shot. People are going to and fro in the station. Standing there, you have Burgess in full-on Marine regalia, Space Marine. He is in armor. He's got a gun. He's got a helmet on. In front of him is a half-naked man covered in cryo goo in essentially a bed sheet with his ass hanging out. He's got a duffel bag and a rifle slung over his shoulder. He's barefoot.
As one does.
We will montage you guys go get a beer and some pants.
To the
All right.
bar.
Moving to
Pants, then beer.
the cool mint and Skipp Trace. Some time has passed, maybe 30 to 45 minutes since Burgess and the Lieutenant and Dustone left. You get a short comm communique from the sergeant. Burgess there. Doom.
Yes.
I'm sorry, not Burgess. Skipp. I'm looking at Drizzle. I'm talking to you though. Skipp there.
Yes.
Where? This is Sergeant Dustone. Where's
Oh,
Alfred?
sorry, Sergeant. Sir.
Where's? Don't you don't need to. Where's Alfred? I tried to call several times and he didn't answer.
I have not heard from him in a while either. Let me see. Alfred,
There is
Where are
no
you?
response. There's no
Uh,
response.
let me get with Dole and see if he can figure out where Alfred is.
All right, well, I'm on my way back. We just gained another crew member. Definitely get Dole to prep a cryo bed. Think it's someone you know, a Private Cherokee Sue.
Private. He,
I don't know what happened to all of your old ranks, but something did. Whatever.
I've been a private for a while, so it doesn't matter to me anymore.
Anyway, I'll be back. The lieutenant is talking to the commander. Your eyes only type stuff. We need to be ready in an hour.
Okay, I'll get Dole and get things started around here.
All right, communication cuts off. Actions on you, sir. What do you do?
I go to look for Dole.
Dole is
Dole.
he'll be on the bridge talking. It's not sweet nothings to the pilot, but it's the kind of intimate conversation of, you know, that Dole is really, really worried, and Josh is listening to him, his anxious feed. As you come up the stairs, they hush down.
Sorry to interrupt, but for some reason, Alfred's not responding. And
Josh quickly looks up at Dole. Dole just starts sweating immediately.
And we also are picking up another crew member, so we'll need another cryo bed ready.
What? We only have 8. Fine. As he rushes past you, excuse me, and down the stairs, ding, 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 ding. You see him messing with the 8th cryo bed and cursing under his breath, as Josh just shakes his head. How many people are we having on this mission? Let's count them up. Oh, we've got Cherokee Sue. We've got Skipp Trace. So Private Cherokee Sue, Private Skipp Trace, Private Burgess, Lieutenant Dolby. You've got Private Aliss Brick, Sergeant Dustone, Corporal Dole Engineering, and Second Lieutenant Josh Deargan. So you have 8 people right now. Oh, and you have a cat. And of course, your RI, ALFRET.
I'm not aware of the cat, correct?
No.
Are you muted?
Okay.
No, not yet.
So literally, this is an entire new world since.
Well, it's been for you. We'll get to you in just a second because you're not.
Okay,
on the ship yet.
I'm sorry. My bad.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
So we should have just enough beds for everyone.
Well,
sorry. Well,
no. Of course, continue. Private.
We probably need to. While Dole's looking at that, can you look and see why Alfred's not responding? Is that something you may know anything about?
You see the second lieutenant. He's a pilot. He's been on this ship before. I can tell you, it's probably not technical. It's probably, he looks up at the ceiling, knowing that ALFRET can probably hear. He's probably tissy that we haven't been speaking to him. Or that you haven't given him something he wants.
Sorry, I have not spoke with him very often, but that's because I've been working out.
You see him just kind of give you a look. There's silence.
Sorry that we've been quiet.
Josh speaks up. Alfred, come out. Come on, Alfred. What do you bid? Or do you bid anything, Skipp? You can also bid Josh if you want.
No, I'm going to... Okay, I'm going to bid orphanage, which is one of my backgrounds, because growing up in an orphanage, you've had to... An orphanage. You have to learn how to, like, you've had the kids who were shy and who'd go hide and that sort of stuff, and you'd have to learn how to get them out.
Yeah, as you start essentially coddling the RI, which might be an interesting feeling because RIs are definitely not sentient. At any rate, what do you say to ALFRET?
I know it's hard without you having a body that we don't see you. You see us all the time.
I
watch us
feel
all the
invisible
time.
all the time. No
And
one knows I'm here. You hear him say.
And we don't acknowledge you as much
No,
because
you
we have
don't.
trouble seeing a corporal form of you. Is there a way that you can project a hologram?
No, not without a hologram.
I didn't know if the
Emitter.
ship had the capabilities.
The engineer could make one, or you hear like almost like a dot dot dot, and the second lieutenant like kind of cranes his neck, looking up, waiting to hear what's about to happen. Or you could have Lieutenant Dolby allow me to enter my robot body. Then I could access the physical corporeal world like you.
I do not have that authority, but when he gets back, I may speak to him about that.
Thank you, Skipp. As Josh kind of looks at you and just with this, look of, oh my god.
But thank you for responding, and I'll try not to ignore you like we have before.
You have 37 messages from different spaceships that I have not allowed you to hear. Do you want to hear them now?
No, let's wait till Dolby gets back.
Josh goes, no, don't wait. Tell me what they say. As you can bid to make Josh not do that, or you can have...
No, actually, Josh has a point. He may need to know stuff that... Are there any that are directed towards Dolby?
Most are SOSs.
Then go ahead and play them now.
As the different communique, and Josh spins in his pilot seat, and he's listening to it and going through, swiping, several. A lot of them are broadcasts, so they're not directly to you, but it's stuff that you should probably have heard. It lands on one from the magistrate Ava Cyrus, as the lieutenant sees it and then kind of pushes it to the side. It's sort of, as he pushes it to the side, imagine your Instagram scroll, it unmutes, but it's still playing. And it's a little tiny hollow emission.
Hold on a second. There's one there by the magistrate.
It does dawn on you that ALFRET, if he were given permission, could probably use these miniature hollow emitters, but he doesn't have access to them. As the lieutenant pushes it back.
Yeah, let that one play.
The one of the magistrate. She looks a lot like, and he looks at you, sharing a glance. The
I just nod.
As he hits play. We will switch back to Dolby talking to the commander. You wanted to speak to me.
This is information that is far beyond my sec clearance, sir.
What is it? What is the nature of your mission? You can tell she doesn't really know what you're saying.
Yeah, this is not my mission. So I would like to... I would like to bid my period of life, which is pretty rough. And this is because I have gone through this before, where I've been knocked down time and time again. And I'm gonna tell her I have gone around my whole career doing my best to work for this, the SSA, and I believe in it 100%. And I think that you need to know this information. And I hand her a copy of what ALFRET printed out, or from the ship, the photo. And I will say that I can't verify this information. And as far as if anyone asks me, it didn't happen. And I will be continuing on my mission as is to Novus Terra. But you need to know that you might have a saboteur on your ship. And I give her the information, and I tell her that this is the sign-in from the magistrate.
She looks down at the data sheet that you've given her, pulls the hollow out and spins it around.
This information did not come from me, and I was never here. Other than to get this officer onto my ship.
As she looks up at you, what did you bid for this?
I bid period of life, which is rough.
As she looks up at you with, under her brows furrowed, sort of a dark look.
Sort of hoping that she has pity on me, because this is way outside of anything that I should know about.
As she looks at you, she goes, measuring her words, "This is not your mission, you say. And where did you get this intel?"
This intel, set clearance was left on our ship above. The magistrate failed to sign out of the Sec 4 clearance.
It's highly unlikely for someone of Magistrate Ava Cyrus's caliber to forget to sign out of something, or to sabotage a gunboat.
That's why I did not believe it and brought you the information to you for you to decipher amongst yourself.
She sets down the sheet and folds her arm. You can tell she's displeased, not with you, just with the situation. As she says, "This information it's a serious allegation. Are you saying the magistrate attempted sabotage?"
I am not saying anything. I was never here, sir.
She nods. "And what is your sec clearance?"
My sec clearance, I believe, is 3.
She nods again. I will take this into consideration. I appreciate it, Lieutenant.
Thank you, sir. That we will be departing the station in the next hour.
She nods again. "So you're aware, do you know who Ava Cyrus is?" And she actually walks over to the window and does the thing doctors do. She looks out the window, folding her arms.
I do not, sir.
"She's one of the most highly decorated SSA officials, Lieutenant." And she turns. "For the last 20 years, she's brokered several deals with the proximal colonies. And for the most part, the lifeboats of the Voidborn, the station kids, and the politics in the sector. If she is if she is a traitor..."
I did not say
She just kind of lets it hang. "I know, you weren't here." She turns back. "If you were Sock, you wouldn't tell me, would you?"
I don't respond.
"Well, so you know, the sergeant who is now under your command, Sergeant Emilia Dustone, who I think is a fine officer, or a fine NCO, worked very closely with Ava Cyrus. She should know a lot more of the inner workings. If you find proof, we need to know. And she looks out again towards where the inevitable exploded. She doesn't say anything, but the implication is obvious.
Yes, sir.
Anything else?
Should we delay our departure?
She looks back. You have your orders. I have a station to get back online.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
She nods. And Dolby, be careful out there.
Thank
You're
you.
going into what some would consider wild space. A lot's changed for those people.
Copy, sir.
As we go into a montage really quick. As you all find yourselves back on the Cool Mint. In this montage, we will have a brief description. What happens at the bar, Burgess and Sue?
So we walk into the bar, and of course, I happen to know the bartender.
Of course.
Yeah,
Why not?
Why the fuck not? And it's of course one of those like deadpan, like, what's the scoop, Maj, kind of types, And I'm like, hey, this is my pal Burgess. He's got a case of the smooth brain, but we love him anyway, okay? And he, and I'm like, listen, just
Yeah, of course. What'll it be?
you straight to the chase, just like I like.
You've been gone a
Give
while.
me- Well, I'm always gone a while, but I always come back. I know where
He
home
nods.
is. That's why you like me, right?
He nods. You see, he's like in his 50s now. You knew him like when he was in his 30s.
Right, like he opened the bar brand new. I'm just back.
Yeah.
I'm like,
You-
listen,
you
you
look like you haven't
remember
aged
when
a
you
day.
had brain busters when you opened this place?
Yeah.
Make a couple of brain busters for me. I'll smooth
Stu,
brain.
you know
here.
we're not allowed to. Well, maybe you don't. We're not allowed to do those anymore. But for you, maybe we will. As he starts making a brain buster, it's got an egg in it. Lots of hot sauce.
And of course, I kind of block the visual line of the drink so that Burgess isn't fully aware of
That's disgusting.
because what he's getting into.
As,
So I'm like,
as he opens up a can of tuna, puts that in there.
Burgess, I love you, right?
Burgess, behind Sue, you see the flare of fire. And there's a
What was that?
smell. There's a smell. It's savory. It's not bad. It's not a bad smell.
It's like that dash sandwich.
Yes. I love you, right? As flyer goes.
Yeah, sure. Private.
As two drinks appear, they are in tall hurricane glasses, if you know what those are. They're fancy glasses. They've got, the spinny straw in it, and there's fog coming out.
Before
So
we drink
as
this, I have
Burgess
something for
goes to
you.
reach for the drink, I want to smack his hand away. And just as a clarifier, I don't know what's gonna happen to you after we drink this, okay? So, with that being said, just tap me on the shoulder if you are too fucked up to talk, and I'll cover for you. Just like the old days, right?
Old days. Yeah. But before we do this, I have something really important to tell you.
Tell me right now.
Pull your pants up.
As
Shit.
as what's this guy's name? What's the bartender's name?
Scruff McGuff.
as Scruff
That's
says,
just what I know him as. I don't know his name. I don't know
Right.
anybody's name.
As Scruff says, "Yeah, you need to wear pants like next time." As he's poured himself a little tiny one, and you guys drink all of it. Remember, you got to drink it all in one go.
And don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs. Take a bite out of crime. As you guys return to the ship, let's find out how good this drink is. Does someone have dice?
Yes. Oh, absolutely yes.
Let's do a fate roll. Why not? It's been a while. We'll do fortune. We'll do false fortune. So normally with a fate roll, Jazzy, the people that are involved don't roll. However, because you're the guest star, we'll say that you get to choose. Do you want fortune or false fortune? And also, what's up, Nostalgic? And what's up, Harry Bunkum?
What
So,
the fuck is
fortune
that,
or
like,
false fortune?
subscribe?
Which one you want?
We're gonna go fortune.
All right, who's got false fortune?
I'll take false since I'm not.
All right, so here are the stakes. If it's fortune, then you both get narrative points. You feel great. This is both nutritious and alcoholic. Build strong bones in the future, and muscles. If it's false fortune, you might get a flaw and be on your way to addiction to the transgalactic Gargle Blaster variant, which is the Brain
I'm
Buster.
so glad you got my reference.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what it is. Okay, so there's
What's the DC,
stakes.
friend?
Oh, it's one of you has to roll the highest. So a fate
on
roll
what?
is you roll a d100, you roll
100.
fortune, he rolls false fortune, and whoever has the highest is the winner. Now, if you all want to re-roll, someone drops a proficiency, you have to announce it, and everyone re-rolls, or both parties re-roll.
Found me 100. Hold on, sorry. I was ill prepared.
All right, do it.
So do we go for a proficiency before the roll or after the roll?
No. You roll it, and you roll at the
Just-
same
just
time,
roll it.
and then you announce what your deals are.
Oh,
So go ahead and roll.
Are you ready? And go. 80.
35.
All right, fortune. Scruff McGuff has improved in the last 20 years on this recipe.
This is the best drink in existence.
Calm down, kid.
yeah. Calm down. Also, you don't want to ever drink more than 2 or 3.
He says that. I've never made it through more than 1.5. How much
He's
bigger?
small.
Can we, for context, how much bigger than Burgess am I?
Burgess, how big are you?
I'd say 5'11".
Oh Jesus, I'm easily 6'8", 300 probably.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So he's big boy. Okay, as we montage out of the bar scene into the ship, you've all returned at this point. We'll say Dolby, unless you want to be there really, really early, you'll be the last one on. As probably just moments prior did Burgess and Sue actually get on. Sue, you have on your pants. You have on your, if you want, you have on your military gear, your marine gear.
So I would like to think, and this is maybe uncanon in the universe, but in the back of Sue's mind, I'm going fucking gown and pants. I borrowed pants because I know in the back of my mind that Dolby has got a locker for me that has updated whatever the fuck in it. Do I know that for sure? Absolutely not. But
all right, so you're
I'm
there.
gonna go on thinking so.
You are there. You're all there, and we'll say everyone is in the mess. So the kitchen area, the common room. This is a pretty full ship. The pilot Josh is on the bridge. but everyone else is in the mess. We'll say I'm gonna take some liberties here, Dolby. Actually, we'll just say fuck it. The sergeant went on the comm and said, "Hey, so everyone meet at the mess so that we can, so the lieutenant can give us our orders and we can get on the same page." So you'll notice, Dolby, that the sergeant just kind of said that. It could be considered a little bit insubordinate, but it's more presumptuous that you would want to do it. All right, so that's where you all are.
Cherokee Sue, it's good to see you again.
Absolutely. Somebody remembers who I am. This has been a dystopian experience to this point. What happened to Burgess? And I look at Burgess, I'm like, I'm sorry, I know you're here.
What happened to Burgess?
I don't know. He's
Nothing
the
happened.
crowds got to him.
Okay. And y'all are going to put me back to sleep again?
We're all going to sleep.
Do you know where I've been?
No.
In a box.
Well, if
The only thing that Burgess caught was box.
you said Dolby was here.
Usually he throws them instead of catches them.
What'd you say, Dolby?
You said Dolby was there.
Yeah, Dolby, you walk in about this moment. You guys see Cherokee Sue, Skipp Trace, Burgess. Dolby just walks in. You see Private Aliss Brick, the moon child. She's a mixed ethnicity, but she's got dark skin that's barely ever seen sunlight. So imagine like an African American person who like has lived on the moon for a really long time. You see Sergeant Dustone, who has long or shoulder length black hair. There's Dole Engineering, who's slight, kind of delicate looking. He's Navy, and he's a corporal. And well, he's not a corporal actually, because he's in the Navy. What's a equivalent corporal rank for a Navy?
Seaman first class.
E4, I would think.
So he'll be what is Seaman first class?
That's kind of like
Eric.
I guess it's kind of like private first class.
Well, we'll call him an E4. What's the E4 rank for Navy?
I'm
Anybody
gonna
know?
look that up. I don't know.
Yeah. So he's an E4. So he's essentially a specialist. And then you have Second Lieutenant Josh, who's not here. He's in the pilot seat. There's a cat on the table with a little jingly thing that says
so if I know
Lucy.
this, I'll be it.
Yeah, Dolby walks in.
Holy mother of shit. So I'm going to run towards Dolby, like, arms out, like, expecting a hug.
A 6'8" Marine bear hugs you.
Dolby will take it.
Just an absolute smush of a hug. Like, your feet aren't on the ground at all.
You just hear this.
No, they are. Dolby's not a big guy, you know. Dolby's not. He's a skinny little dude. So he's probably not unlike a ragdoll. I mean, he's tough, but he's just like, it's all right. That's fine.
But I know better than like 3 Mississippi or whatever the equivalent is in space time, and then I let you go.
Actions on.
You too.
Actions on you all. What you doing?
All right. We're going to be wheels up in the next, I would say 50 minutes. So do whatever you guys need to do to prep. We should get out of here. We have our mission.
Aliss Brick looks up. She's drinking some coffee. She's looking at you, Cherokee Sue. There's this kind of shit-eating grin playing on her face as she goes, "So, big fella, you gotta fit in the cryo bed." She takes like a little sip.
And I just like pat her on the top of the head. and I'm like, I'm banking on Dolby here having something for me to wear.
You should find some pets. She looks down, and some shoes too.
I don't wear shoes. The only shoes I wear are grab boots because I have to when we're on the ship. Trust me, if I smell dirt, my toes are gripping.
All right. On that note, unless you have something else to do, we will montage into space.
So does Dolby actually have like a tire for me?
That's up to you guys.
Dolby, did you have a?
I think any attire that we would have would have been with your cryo bed and.
Yeah, you have a duffel, I think.
Yeah,
Well, I'm just talking about from our level of friendship. Did you have like a locker memorial for me to return, or are you just gonna have me put on like the scrubs of the cryo bay?
This is directly Private Sue. I regret to inform you, but we've done a little bit since we last saw you. I really appreciate this jovial experience that we're having, but we've been handed a mission, and then he takes a hit of his flask and offers it to Private Sue. And
I weigh it, like I don't want to be a douche, so like I kind of weigh the flask first. And because I'm 6'8", like I don't want to fucking destroy it. So I'm like, all right, cool. And I take a swig and I hand it back.
Thank you for joining us on this mission. That you are doing your part for the SSA.
Yeah, and Cherokee. Go on. Sorry.
I expect that we will all. We are all better off because you have joined us.
Cherokee, you'll note it's been so your last mission with Dolby and this crew or this fire team was likely a few months ago of time that you actually experienced. Time is relative. Reality wise, it's been a good like year or two. Oh, what am I saying? You guys went back to boot camp. It's been about 2 years of actual experienced time since you've seen Dolby.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. So just to be clear, between the 10 years of return time, boot camp, and 2 years of me being bounced around in space, essentially.
2 months bounced around in space.
2 months, 2 years since I've seen him.
Right.
Got it.
So you guys haven't really seen each other. Your last mission was 2 years ago. When I say that, I mean of actual experienced time. Okay. Cherokee, you can tell the re-education definitely affected Dolby a little bit. He's much more straight-laced. Like you can tell, like he's more on point than he was on that mission you were on last time.
So I'm gonna give him like the same kind of situation. I think I'm gonna give him the same old noogie and kind of just say like we'll get through this. Like you're basically what you're telling me, I can feel that something is off, so I'm gonna give him a noogie and be like, we'll get through this.
I'm gonna bid
and just leave it open.
Oh, you're bidding. We go into the dread.
Out of game. Nathan, were you in the one with was the last one that we played the one that with me, or were you in the other one that they all played?
We were in the game that we blew up the non-existent
secret AI
secret base.
Right. Yeah. Right. Okay. But
that didn't.
But not
have
the
AI
other one.
in it.
Okay.
Not
just making sure.
I'm gonna bid authoritarian presence to make and I'm gonna use rethink, which is one of my traits, and bid authoritarian presence to activate my ability authoritarian presence.
Okay. As the room gains whatever feeling you want it to have, your entire crew is here.
I think
describe
that
that.
the feeling that I want is that we are on a very serious mission, and that he's got his stuff together, and that he is the authority, and like what he says goes, and if you're not ship shape, then you're in trouble. And he looks at Brick, and he looks at
Sue.
Private Sue.
Brick, Cherokee Sue, you notice that Aliss
Oh,
Brick
and he
is
looks
her
at
name.
Dole.
Oh yeah. Dole just sweats profusely and drops his gaze, kind of fidgets. Aliss downs the coffee, stands up, and gets at attention immediately. The room kind of cools off. The sergeant turns on her heel. All right, you heard the man. You heard the lieutenant. We need to be ready for cryosleep within 30 minutes, Marines. Get to it. And she looks at you and does the... And she looks at all of you. She's talking to everybody. Snatch the apple. Snatch the apple.
Snatch the apple. I would like to bid street sense
Do it.
to realize that I messed up. I can feel the situation is lukewarm, right?
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily anybody's fault on purpose. So I think in that situation, when he kind of brushes me off, I want to literally brush like dust off of him. Because I know Dolby. So it's like as straight laced as he actually is, like he still has a little bit of dust on his shoulder.
Okay.
So like just brush it off and get into attention for the rest of the situation.
Sounds good. As the big guy does this and stands at attention before you, everyone peels out unless you decide not to. And go on.
As we peel out, I'll look at Cherokee Sue and be like, "Don't worry, he's the same man underneath."
Sounds like you're the only one that remembers me for valor, and I might stick in your pocket for a bit.
It's a good crew we've got right now, so everything will be fine. Things will head back to normal soon.
As you guys are the only two in the mess right now, everyone else has left, unless you want to have stayed. And as Skipp, as you walk out, Cherokee Sue, you're standing alone in the mess.
I want to address Allie, which is the pet name that I've given the AI, so we have rapport.
And yeah, as you're technically alone. What do you do?
Hey, I guess clearly I don't know what happened earlier, right?
Right.
With the AI situation. Okay.
Yep. And in fact, you wouldn't know the name.
Hey, Allie.
You actually wouldn't know the name either.
Oh, it's not the same AI from before.
No. But you could assume it is.
No.
But you could assume it is.
Oh shit! So I don't remember what the old AI's name was then. Can you remind me so I don't? So I
believe it's Allie.
up?
I believe it was Allie.
Oh, was it?
No,
actually?
no,
Okay,
it was
cool.
it was Arya. It was Arya.
Cool. So I'm gonna fuck it up then. Cool. Thank you.
Yep. What do you say?
Awkwardly clearing my throat. Arya, I need an ally. Can you catch me up on what's happened since I've been asleep?
What do you bid for this? You don't have to, but if you don't, it's going to be hilarious. If you do, then you can it can be more about you changing the narrative.
So I'm going to use Animal Handler, and I know that sounds goofy, but I think about in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy the relationship that the depressed robot has
Mm-hmm.
with the main character. I feel like even with Eeyore, Pooh Bear has a relationship. So
Sure.
even though I accidentally fucked up the AI's name, there's a level of empathy that you can relate to, that I believe the AI can relate to in my animal handler senses.
I dig it. Okay, and you say that. You hear this. What is your name, soldier?
Soldier's a stretch, friend. Call me Sue. Not the people,
You,
not the song.
you are not a Marine, are you?
It's complicated.
Marines are soldiers.
You, with an upgrade, can learn duality, I think.
I don't know what you mean.
That's my point.
Tick, 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 tick. Yes, I will be your ally.
Can I ask a huge favor of you?
Yes. In return, I will need something from you.
No question. We're friends, right?
Yes.
Could you potentially put yourself in a physical form that I could interact with so I don't have to talk to the air?
Yes. If the lieutenant will give me permission, I have a robot body. You can tell it somehow says it with pride. Like it's not a common thing.
But I thought we agreed that we were friends. And that you were going to have a favor for me if you did what I asked.
It is not within my powers to lift Lieutenant Dolby's security clearance.
You and I both know that AI is not
I am no AI.
oh shit. That was a personal flub. Oh no.
RI.
RI. Okay, sorry. Let's back up a little bit.
Do you have a pip to spend?
I actually
Otherwise
do
it
have a pip to
happens.
spend.
All right, spend the pip and it happens.
You fucked up and gave me a pip in the last campaign before you demoted me, and I got a pip.
No, good. It's good you have it. All right, so you spend a pip, so
Yeah.
you did not say AI, you said RI.
Thank you.
Yep.
I'm trying to build rapport here, damn it.
Do it.
You and I both know that RI is more than ones and zeros. And unfortunately, I called you by the wrong name, but you can tell that I have respect for what you do for this crew and that we can be friends in longevity.
I have many names. I do
What
not
would you
take
prefer I
offense.
call you?
ALFRET. I do like
All right,
Aria though.
Ariello?
That one works.
Ariello, my friend.
As you hear more clicking and such. Private Sue.
Yes.
We will be
What can I
going
do
into
for you?
cryosleep within 30 minutes. You should probably get ready.
Can you run additional diagnostics in the remaining 5 minutes before we go into cryosleep, ensuring that all the pods are functioning properly, and send the diagnostics to my pod, please?
Absolutely. And if I were the one to sabotage them, I would absolutely tell you that it was me.
I figured you would, because I would cover for you. That's what friends do.
Indeed.
And I do like a high five to the air because he's not in physical form yet.
there's like no response, but somehow you imagine there is.
Oh
Guy
yeah.
like you.
No. What happens actually is I do one of these.
I like you, Private Sue. Now get to it, Marine. As you see the light go
I thought
out.
we went over this. I'm just a person.
He's gone as far as you know. Moments later, the cat rubs against your leg. And that is where we're going to take a break. So, get some hydration, get some water, use the bathroom, do your thing. We'll give it 10 minutes. Is that pretty good?
Thank you, 10.
So what does that put us back on? And you guys can roll. It'll just be Ken and I messing with this really quick. So we'll be back at 9:40. Is that good? That's
Yeah.
technically 12 minutes. 9:40. All right, everyone in the chat, because we've had several viewers. Thank you guys so much for jumping in and participating in all these things. It's been a while since we've had 8, 9 plus viewers. Yeah. So we're gonna be coming back in about 10 minutes to do some Into Space. And also, if you didn't notice, we got a guest star, Jazzy Cabbage. If someone wants to be a guest star, just let us know, and it will be on the Into Space campaign. And if you're interested in liking and subscribing and following, please do. We're looking for right now. We got 3 subscribers on Twitch. We're looking for 10. We have 86 followers. We're looking for 100, just as a goal. If you end up watching this not when we're streaming, when it's on YouTube, please subscribe. We're looking for 100 subscribers there. And if you're listening to the podcast, absolutely let us know. It seems like the podcast is doing really, really well, and Couchfire Media does a lot to make that podcast the fucking bomb. So please let us know that you dig it. Tell people about it. Share it, and all that good stuff. You want to know more about DreadLore? Pray to the gods to send mana your way and inspiration. And in the dead of night, one day in months, upon the blood red moon, perhaps a DreadLore core book will grace you in holy light, and you will be enlightened by it. Or you could go to the dreadlore.com website and get one. It is a sexy, sexy book. There's also the link tree. Okay, that's the whole thing. I'll be back in 10 minutes.